Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Mountain Murders Midweek. I'm Heather.
And I'm a well-fed Dylan.
Of course. When are you hungry?
Oh, my gosh. I just had the best snack.
You're like the hungry hippo.
I had Doritos Bold Barbecue.
Dylan, why do you need to have flavored Doritos? Right? I mean, just be happy with the regular Dorito. Why do they got to introduce all these flavors?
So you don't like spicy Doritos?
I don't typically eat Doritos.
Oh, my gosh. Then why are you talking about it?
Well, I'm just asking, what is the purpose?
Do the spicy Cool Ranch? Oh, my God.
So they have to have 30 flavors of Doritos now?
It's just.
Can't be satisfied with the one flavor. We got to have all the flavors. I see.
I had the sweet chili. Oh, my God.
Okay, well, Doritos is not sponsoring today's show, Dylan, so let's move on from that. We have a lot to talk about.
Let's get into it because there is so much to talk about.
Controversial Halloween costume idea for a couple's costume.
I just learned about this 3 minutes ago.
P. Diddy and a bottle of baby oil. No blackface, though.
No.
You're allowed to wear your pale face.
No, you have to wear your pale face. No blackface.
No blackface, but you could put P. Diddy and then you could be the baby oil.
Heather's P. Diddy. I'm the big bottle.
I have a fur coat.
I'm the big bottle of baby oil.
So much has been released over the past few days involving this P. Diddy nonsense.
It's the freak off.
It's probably just like in the last day, but it feels like days I've been hearing about this. All over social media, so many creators talking about the diddler.
Look, last night I could not remember what the parties were called, and Heather's like, "Is it Freak Nick?" And I was like, "No,
that's the thing in Atlanta."
I said, "Well, it was the thing in Atlanta before it went sideways." I said, "No, it's like Freak Nick, but it's not." And seriously,
is it the Freak Leak like Petey Pablo talked about?
It was not the Freak Leak, but it's like it.
Leak.
1 o'clock this morning, I'm getting ready for my messed up job that has crazy hours. And on social media, they're talking about a freak off. It was a freak off.
Freak off.
It's like a beach off.
It's like
but freak.
Without a Ken doll. Okay. I am not built for a freak off.
Can we talk about the thousands of bottles of baby oil that were recovered? Like, this is pallets of baby oil. The more
I hear about this, I'm blown away because I'll be honest, Dylan. Anyone that I know that has a bottle of baby oil, it's been sitting in their medicine cabinet for the last 30 years. Like, they have the same bottle of baby oil since like 1996.
It's baby oil from the 90s.
Like, no one uses baby. What do you even use baby oil for? The only people I've ever known to use baby oil was my mama in the 80s when she laid out in the sun.
And she was sizzling.
And now she looks like a fucking old shoe.
She looks like old football.
She looks like an old dehydrated, dried up, rotten potato because she's all wrinkly and looks terrible.
Because she was magnifying the sun's power.
Well, her outside matches her inside. But I'm just saying, that bitch poured the baby oil on, laid out in the sun, looked like a piece of bacon. That's the only person I've ever known to really use baby oil.
I never even put
what do you even do with this baby oil? Are you is Diddy using this baby oil for lube? Because that's really going to throw off your pH balance. It's not a good idea.
You know it's being used to make slick surfaces, at the very least.
Like a slip and slide?
Like you can't even
like they're having a sex slip and slide?
It's like the rubber sheet with the baby oil in, what is it? Van Wilder.
See, now my mind is racing. I'm imagining a giant slip and slide, covered in baby oil, and then you have these freak off people. This is like what's just a big orgy, right?
Well, no, you challenge somebody.
They're just sleeping on. They're just sexing
and slipping
and sexing.
Things slipping.
Because that doesn't seem yes. That seems like the way things slip in, and then they're easily going to slip out. And then what's the fun in that?
Oh my God! Let's stop.
And then are strangers just slipping and sliding in and out too? What is happening? I need to know more details.
You've never been invited, apparently.
Well, I don't want to be. I'm not built for a slip and slide freak off.
I can smell the freak off, and I don't want to. I
have a lot of issues with germs.
Yeah.
You know, and just the exchange of fluids, that does nothing for me. I will admit I'm not a freak. I don't want to be freaked off. I don't want to be freaked on.
I mean, you know, I don't want a bunch of people's freaks. I gross myself out.
I gross myself out. I don't even want to take my clothes off because I'm grossed out by my own naked body, and I don't need to show people.
Look, I'll wrap this segment up by saying I believe Sean Combs.
And I don't like being oily.
Stop.
I'm going to interrupt you. So the thought, again, this thought of like wallowing around like an old hog in a mud hole in some baby oil and having that greasy oil on my skin, that grosses me out. I can't even like stand the thought of it.
And this is why you don't get invited to the freak off. But seriously, though, Sean Combs is a piece of shit.
Predator.
He has been abusive, openly abusive to countless women in his life and his career. Yeah, because he's been on top for a very long time. I think people forget he's been up there since Biggie. He rode Biggie to the top. And some people argue he may have had something to do with Biggie's death for various reasons.
He rode Biggie to the top. I bet they was using some baby oil.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going to cast Biggie in that. I'm not going to disparage Biggie because you told me of reports of possibly Sean having something to do with Biggie's death because Biggie wasn't into the freak-offs.
Dude, there was some creator today. I was watching the TikToks, and this creator was talking about some guy admitting that the diddler paid him to kill Tupac.
You mean like Biggie?
No, Tupac.
Tupac too?
Like whoever killed Tupac, this person that's been arrested or whatever, allegedly the diddler paid $1 million to have Tupac offed.
Oh my God.
But yeah, people, I mean, you know, conspiracy theories run wild.
But he's a piece of shit. And what I believe, why is it happening now? Because he's been abusive like this for years, right? I mean, I think it's almost like an open secret, you know, that he's a piece of shit and he's mean and he does women horribly. Like and men have come out multiple allegations of, you know, abuse by him at the hands, you know, of Diddy to men as well, which could be a great group name, right?
He's
Diddy
a freak.
To men.
I want to know, what's he doing to the pets?
He crossed the wrong
he's a
person.
Freak, so I'm saying he doing everybody dirty. Has anybody checked out the dogs and cats in the neighborhood? The squirrels?
He did he threatened the wrong person.
He diddled the wrong person.
And with the blackmail and the Epsteinish, everything recorded, you know, audio, visual, all that. And they're taking him down.
Well, this is the thing about a narcissist like the diddler. He thought he was a genius setting up all of this video equipment so he could record and blackmail people, never once thinking that this would be evidence against him because he's so narcissistic. He never thought he would get caught. And now we have a treasure trove of evidence, I'm sure, from these parties. Another disturbing detail that came out, and then we'll move on, is the singer Cassie in her lawsuit. It's been leaked, and it just disturbs me that she says she gave her, quote, monthly flow to Diddy so that it could be consumed at his freak-off parties as part of, I guess, some ritual.
A ritual?
Yeah.
And you said he has tattoos that have, like, Haitian influence and ties to, like...
Voodoo?
Voodoo, yeah.
Yeah, there's some tattoo on his back, and this person was explaining that it's some, like, an entity or, some, you know, something in, like, voodoo.
A deity worshipped in voodoo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anywho, I mean, I don't know how true that is, but
well,
I'm still over here scratching my head about the damn baby oil.
I look forward to him committing suicide because that's probably going to happen because he knows a lot of dirt on a lot of people.
Let's go ahead and say right now, Diddy did not Epstein himself.
He did not.
Wow. Just, my mind is blown, Dylan.
Moving on.
So much happening in the world right now.
I'm getting bumper stickers that say, damn Diddy.
Damn Diddy?
Yep.
Damn Diddy?
All
like
right.
That?
So
like damn Diddy or like damn Diddy?
Either one.
Damn Diddy.
Yeah, that one, the third one.
Okay. Dylan, we are reaching that time of year when we are having our Halloween countdown, right?
It's the Halloween countdown.
We're just weeks away.
Meow. Halloween countdown.
All the things. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Enough.
You nailed it. Damn, Diddy, you nailed it. Yeah, so we will be discussing all things, you know, creepy, spooky, ooky, Unruly.
Ookie?
Ookie. Gookie.
Sounds like something
Gooey.
you catch. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Sticky.
Yeah, sticky.
So in honor of this, let's get into some listener stories.
Oh my
I've
gosh.
been sitting on these for a minute. Got some good ones. Are you ready?
This is a perfect time for that, and I can't wait.
First listener story. I nearly froze to death in a beer cooler at the gas station where I worked, and to this day, I suspect my lunatic coworker hated me so much, she had me go in there knowing full well the door was broken.
Oh my gosh, this is a loaded allegation for a title.
Here's the story. A few years ago, I returned to school and started working the graveyard shift as a gas station clerk since I'm a night owl. I'd leave work and go to class, then sleep in the afternoon into evening. The schedule worked for me because, like Dylan, I'd been a production worker at a plant which closed. I understand what he went through with the paper mill closing.
Oh, thank you.
I genuinely hope y'all are doing okay after that. It's a real blow. Fortunately for me, I was single at the time with no kids, so I was able to retrain in a new field. I'm an x-ray tech now. This woman I worked with was a lazy bleep.
Fill in the blank.
Yes. Who thought she was my boss. She was not. Ordering me around all the time. Her boyfriend came into the store constantly to hang out for hours. We butted heads on day one. This one night I arrived at work just after 11 p.m. By 2 a.m. we're no longer selling beer, and she tells me I need to restock the cooler while she goes to, quote, lunch. She's gone for an hour, which our break was only 30 minutes. The cooler door was broken, but she didn't tell me this. I go inside the cooler and get trapped. I didn't have my phone on me, so I couldn't call. Just happened no customers were in the store either. I tried everything possible to smash my way through the door, but couldn't get it open. By the time she returned and let me out, I could tell she thought it was funny. She had this stupid smirk on her face. I quit. I gave her some choice words and walked out. I'd never quit a job like that before, but I was fuming mad. I let the owner know immediately what happened. He apologized and told me I could keep the job, even offered me an extra $1 on the hour to come back, but I refused to work with her. This could fall under the scary experiences where I thought I might die or trashiest people you know categories.
Wow. Look, a couple of thoughts. She totally knew that cooler door was fucked up, right? I don't know if she usually took an hour lunch, but it sounds like she went for a nice long leisurely break. I'm not sure she was consuming lunch. Maybe she was running to the house, making it happen. Who knows? And this is why you always prepare for the worst. You got to go into the cooler with gloves, big coat, never assuming that you might get stuck, right? And also, I have went through this many times before. Someone who thinks they're your management or supervision, even though they're your peer, drives me crazy.
It drives me crazy as well.
I will be quick to tell them, I do not work for you.
And do not micromanage me.
And do not try to direct me. I'll be happy to work
not like it.
with you for any purpose, but don't do that. Not doing that.
Yeah, there's people like, I don't understand, get on this power trip. They think just because they've been there like 2 weeks longer than you, they're your boss.
I hired in 6 days for you did. What?
Yeah. Nice. I don't get it, but this definitely, oh my gosh, this is for me stuff of nightmares. I do not like being cold.
No, but I was going to get on.
I do not like it. And the thought of being stuck in a cool, and I'm assuming it was like the walk-in, right? Cooler. And those things are really cold.
They are.
I mean, they are. And I would not like that. I would be so fucking mad if I was locked in a cooler for an hour.
And I got to say, the first time you go out, after, 15, 20 minutes or whatever your comfort level is, and it doesn't operate and you can't get out, your mind's immediately going to go to like some dark, oh my God, what happened?
I could die in here. I could freeze. Couldn't this person potentially get hypothermia or something?
I don't know the science or temperature.
I don't know either, but
it's not okay. Just being scared that you can't get out and knowing that you don't have a solid coworker looking out for you, watching your back. I mean, my God, what could be going through your mind? So, you know what? Damn your coworker. And I'm glad you quit. And thank you for your kind words.
Okay, we have an email that was sent to us from Holly. Heather and Dylan, finally getting a chance to type up this email because your podcast has been in my top 3 for years. I've listened to every episode and some more than once.
Wow.
With my favorites being the Charles Manson series. And I liked all the asylum stories. As Heather would say, let's get into it. About 2 years ago, I was asked by my friend, who also happened to be my coworker, if I would pet/house sit for them. Michelle and Paul were a wonderful couple in their 50s with a nice log cabin style home. The only catch, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. I said, sure, thinking about the outdoor hot tub setup. Paul even told me I could take their ATV around the property if I wanted. This sounded like a vacation to me. They had 3 dogs, a shepherd, a corgi, and a hound pit mix, plus 2 cats. Then the scariest thing happened to me. One of the nights, I was watching TV in the living room when suddenly all of the dogs started barking. They were running around the house. The hound acted like it was tracking something, bellowing loudly while the other 2 dogs joined in the chorus.
Oh, my God.
Then the cats started acting weird, arching their backs and hissing. They ran to the door by the kitchen where there's a carport outside. It was just chaos. The dogs seemed to be getting more aggressive, but the corgi stood a few feet back, barking and shivering. I went over to the carport, like, hey, come on, guys, calm down, thinking it was just an animal or something. The motion light had activated, but when I tried to look outside, the dogs were jumping up and scratching at the door and just going nuts. I couldn't see anything. Then I started to get a little nervous because these animals were in full panic mode. Thinking I could get a better view, I ran upstairs to the 3rd floor. We were on the 2nd floor, by the way. Master bedroom. I checked the 3 windows on the side of the room facing the driveway carport. I couldn't see anything. In the meantime, the dogs are still barking. I have never seen animals act this way. Made me want to get in my car, drive away, and not come back. I have no idea what was happening, but I don't think it was an animal outside. When Michelle and Paul came home, I asked Paul about it, explained how out of control the dogs had been, and also the cats. He seemed surprised and told me they had never done anything like that before.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
How could you not be concerned when there's like upwards of 4 or 5 animals?
Sorry to tell you, but there's like a demon outside your property, and that's why the dogs was going crazy.
And it's like they can see stuff you can't and stuff. And when cats like arch their back and like scurry and screech and do the cat thing.
I love when they do the little sideways run.
Yeah, but it's scary. It's creepy. When cats carry on, just all their body posturing is very weird. And then you got the dogs going crazy and like someone's there or something's there, if you will. And here you are in a strange, not your home. So you're not completely comfortable in the first place. And boom, all this for an ATV ride.
Is it worth it?
Well, yeah, because ATVs are awesome.
You think so?
Well, yeah, I would totally go stay somewhere that somebody had that toy.
Well, if someone wants us to house/pets it and you have an ATV on your property, call us.
Just hit us up at mountainmurderspodcast.
Got a hot tub? I'm there.
Yeah.
Don't have to pay me or nothing.
I'll fix a pH when I get done.
I'll bring my own snacks. What are you going to put some baby oil in it?
No.
I promise Dylan won't oil up your hot tub.
No, I had a hot tub briefly.
You had a hot topic?
A hot tub briefly at a rental one time. And to keep it up properly and everything just right, you spend a good bit of money. It's going to add $40 or $50 a month to your power bill.
You said it was
and chemicals and everything. So no, when and everybody that comes over is like, I want to get in your hot tub.
And you were like, no.
No.
You said you didn't want anyone in your hot tub.
No, because people can mess it up by not being hygienic and clean, and it depends on the clothes they have on and the detergent they use. I mean, you have to think about all these things to keep it optimal.
I would be weirded out by people getting in my hot tub too.
Yeah, and it's a hot tub, so in my mind, it's like a petri dish.
I'm not inviting you into my hot tub
for bacterias and such. And I know you treat it and shock it and all that, but yeah. So yeah, after a few times of repeating the chemical treatments of it, because so and so and whoever want to get in your hot tub, you start saying, "Hey, no. You can't get in my hot tub.
Your mom and them can't get in my hot tub."
And little kids in a hot tub? No. It's not a pool.
They're going to be pissing in that hot tub and everything. Can I make a confession?
You piss in a hot tub.
No, that's not my confession, Dylan. I'm like, Usher, these is my confessions.
One time I peed in the hot water.
No, see, now you got everybody thinking I piss in the hot tub. That's not it. My confession is when I get in the hot tub, sometimes I close my eyes and pretend I'm a lobster in a hot pot of water.
Oh my God.
And I'm boiling and they're killing me.
Why
and
is
I'm
this?
Like, ah!
Why is this? This is a much more accurate description of what Heather would be thinking in a hot tub.
This is what it feels like to be a lobster.
Ah.
I'm a crustacean in a pot.
You think for just a moment they're like, hey, this is pretty chill.
Maybe.
It's comfy.
Yeah.
And then it keeps going.
Yeah. And then they're like, help me. But they can't use their little crab claws to get out, their little lobster claws, because they don't have any opposable thumbs.
That's why they're a crustacean, I think. Yep.
Yes. Okay.
Here we are.
Oh, so you can just say unhinged weird shit, but I can't. Let's see how it is.
I never denied you that opportunity.
Well, you're judging me right now.
I think it's an awesome
And
thing.
if I want to pretend I'm a lobster in a hot pot of boiling water, that's my prerogative.
I'm going to watch you next time we slide into a hot tub. I don't know when this is going to happen, but I'm going to know the moment that you're like doing your little hands like their claws. And she's like, she needs help. She thinks she's going to boil.
Yes.
Okay.
Heather and Dylan, I have a strange but comical story to tell you. Are you ready for this? This is sent by Austin.
Thank you, Austin.
When I was 7, I woke up in the middle of the night, my tooth feeling all wiggly and loose. It had been bugging me for days, so I sat up in my bed and just yanked it out. There was blood, but it was surprisingly not that much, so I grabbed a Kleenex from the nightstand and stuffed it in my mouth. Then I wrapped my tooth up tight. I thought about running to my parents' room to tell them, but I knew they would be asleep, so I decided to show them in the morning. I also don't know why I had a peculiar feeling warning me not to get up. I shoved the little tissue-wrapped tooth on my nightstand and lay back down, feeling proud of myself for being such a big boy. I didn't need to wake up my parents. I handled the tooth situation on my own. I'm a big kid now. I must have drifted off, but something woke me up again a bit later. It was a sound, maybe. At first, I thought it was the wind or the house creaking like it did sometimes. Then I got really excited, imagining it was the tooth fairy bringing me cash for my fresh tooth. I listened for a while but heard nothing else. It went quiet. I convinced myself to close my eyes and go back to sleep. It was me staying awake that kept the tooth fairy from gifting me with a 10 spot. Wow, the tooth fairy was giving you $10 bills?
Well, the dollar had a much higher, a better buying power back then. So $10 meant something.
Damn. Well, I'm just saying, my tooth fairy was like, here's a quarter. Let's see. In the morning when I woke up, I ran out of my room to show my mom my tooth. We lived in a split level, so I had to go downstairs to the kitchen, but my mom wasn't in there. The front door was open, and my dad was on the phone talking real low. Mom looked upset. Now, this was unusual because my dad worked first shift at a factory and was usually gone before I woke up. My mom told me someone had broken into the house. Our living room was in disarray. My heart was racing because I remembered hearing that noise. I might have been awake when they were in the house.
Oh, my gosh.
What if I'd taken my tooth to my parents or gotten up to go to the bathroom? I might have caught them in the act. The thought made my stomach twist. I hadn't told anyone about my tooth, and for a moment, I wondered if I should. I ran back to my room feeling all weird inside. I went back to check the tooth I'd wrapped inside the tissue, and it was still there. For some reason, I had this thought that the burglars had managed to steal my tooth.
Damn it.
Like, you can take my parents' stereo system, but you keep your dirty mitts off of my tooth.
That tooth's worth a 10 spot, bud. Which is like $1 bajillion to a kid.
This is funny. Yes, this is funny, and it is scary at the same time.
But
what's so funny is that I could see, as a 7-year-old, your main fear being they stole your tooth.
Yeah. All the electronics are gone. Your mom's purse. Yeah, your dad's golf clubs. Everything's gone. But, thank God my tooth is here.
Yeah.
No, but and the scary thoughts mixed in with that. What if I'd, stumbled across these burglars possibly? Or what if they had heard us and all these things? And I think I might have heard them inside my home, which are all very scary thoughts.
Yeah, it's so... The thought of someone being in your home, sneaking around, slipping around with their slimy little hands all over your stuff,
looking through your stuff.
It's such a violation.
It truly is. A lot of people don't ever truly completely recover from that type of violation because your home, as we've said many times before, it's your sanctity. It's your
sanctuary. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that too. It's your, bubble to the whole rest of the world. You know what I mean? No matter if you have the bad day or you have a problem at work or school, whatever, come home, put your phone away. It's like your little bubble of protection. And to have somebody come into your house and indiscriminately rifle through your things, nobody ever looks through your things. You have family or whatever, but as far as a stranger goes, that's such a vile thought.
It really is.
Like if somebody's like poking their fingers through the holes in my underwear drawer, that would totally weird me out.
I mean, they're poking their fingers in your underwear holes?
In my underwear drawer.
You make it sound like you have a drawer that's full of holes.
People knew what I
I'm
meant.
like, you know you got a new dresser, right?
No, we have a nice dresser.
That's new furniture. It's not holy.
Our listeners knew what I meant.
They did?
Yeah.
Because I was confused.
Just sticking
I'm
their
really
finger in
glad
there.
that they didn't take your tooth, Austin.
Gosh. And I'm glad they didn't harm anybody as well.
Absolutely.
Jeez.
Great, you were safe. Okay.
And your tooth especially.
It's really funny. Okay, this is from Lila. Y'all, I can't gush enough about how much I freaking love your podcast. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
When I first heard the phrase, we say fuck a lot, I knew I'd found my people. My boyfriend, who doesn't even like true crime, will casually say, why don't you turn on Mountain Murders anytime we're riding in the car together? He denies being into murder stories, but I know what's up. He's a fan, and she wrote it in all caps.
Nice.
I'd love to buy y'all a drink because I know you're just as much fun in person. I love how real you both are. In a time when social media and stuff makes everybody so fake, you are genuine. You can tell. I love y'all so much. Since I can remember, I've always had a psychic ability, intuition, clairvoyance. I can't explain it. A lot of people ask me to predict their future when I tell them this, but that's not how it works for me. It's like I suddenly get a message, and a lot of times it comes to me in a dream. One of the most memorable times this has happened to me was a couple years ago. There's a bridge that connects my neighborhood to the rest of the town. I had this dream where I was standing on the bridge watching the police search the river for someone. There was a diver and they had nets dragging the river. I know they're searching for someone, but I don't know who it is. I remember feeling scared. Of course, I woke up as they were pulling a body out of the water.
Oh my gosh.
The dream fucked me up, and as soon as I could, I told my boyfriend about it. I kept thinking about the dream, almost dwelling on it because it was so real. Then a few days after the dream, they pulled a body from the river. It was
like in real life?
It was a guy. They seemed to think he was intoxicated, maybe lost his footing and fell into the water. Other people theorized he had taken his own life. There's a few spots up the river not that far away from the bridge where folks like to go fishing. People thought he had drowned above the bridge and then it swept him downstream. I can't shake the feeling that he was either thrown in or jumped off the bridge, though. It really freaked me out. But like, I'm not going to tell the police, hey, I had a dream about this dude or whatever. It was barely mentioned in our town, no real news reports, and the family kept the details of his death fairly private. The only things I've heard have been through the grapevine. Still, I'm haunted by this dream. It's by far the vision that most freaks me out. I wanted to share. I thought it might make a listener episode. And she also writes, please don't ever stop recording Mountain Murders.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Lila, that is a very sweet message.
Oh my God, it was a smiley face killer, y'all.
Oh, well, I kind of thought about that.
Dude. Anytime I hear male, water, I think smiley face killer.
This seems to be I don't know the statistics, but it does seem like there's a lot of males, who drown and have been intoxicated.
Look, I tell you, I've heard people break this down, and I'm talking all over the country, right? And Lila, I'm not discounting your story. That is very interesting.
It is, and I'm intrigued that she has this gift.
Look,
I want to know more about it.
I'm not trying to outshine Lila right now.
You is.
But very periodically, and I'm talking maybe 10 times in my life, right? I will have just the most oddball dream. And at the time when I have the dream, it's senseless. It just makes no sense. I'm around people I don't even know or whatever, or people I would never go around. But then I will hit a moment in life. And I guess this is what they say is a kind of deja vu-ish. That for maybe 30 seconds to a minute, it is that exact sequence in my weird dream that made absolutely no sense that I might have had 2 years ago, right? And I will hit just for a second. I'm just like, whoa. And on top of that, I'm empathic to a default. I'm so strongly empathic to other people's vibes, feelings. I can feel them if their mood changes while I'm around them. I can feel it. Or if someone all of a sudden I thought was a good friend doesn't, has a true animosity for me. It's just like it berates me. It like assaults my senses. and not going to read people like a book through their vibes. So I understand how disconcerting that type of thing can be. Not saying it's the same, but oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, I've had weird moments in life like this, and
you could, maybe it's just rewriting the data
yeah,
over like a memory card.
I always
'cause it's an
wonder, like,
algorithm.
how does that work?
Yeah.
I remember, and I think I might have been with you. We were driving somewhere and saw a building, and I told you I dreamed I was in that building, and I've never seen this building in my life, but I had a very vivid dream about this building.
Right.
Just weird shit like that. You're like, what the hell?
Dude, I heard something the other day.
But this bridge, I mean, that's such one would be a very troubling dream to have anyway. Like anytime I dream about death or, you wake up feeling really freaked out. I get that. And then it comes true. And then, you don't want to go tell someone. And even if you say, hey, I had a dream about this, no one's going to believe you. No. And if they do, they're like, okay, so what? I mean, can you solve the mystery? I mean,
what are you going to reach out and ransom the family for answers? Like some shitty
so
people
it's
do?
like, you're not, no one's probably going to believe you, or they're going to think you have some angle for coming forward. Like, oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, what the hell, Lala? I mean, seriously.
No, I'm just saying.
You're
then
kind of in the gift.
Well, then you're kind of weird predicament because you're
right.
like, but then you have this kind of piece of information.
Well, look, that's one of those things you could never truly explain.
No, it's definitely an unexplainable thing.
The how weird it was and how real it was and how dead on it was. I mean, it's just hard to explain. But I heard something the other day, thinking about like simulation theory, if you will, like we're living in a simulation. It said, what if when you can't go to sleep, it just means the queue is full? And like when a spot opens up, that's when you fall asleep. And like considering the whole world of billions of people.
Why will my brain never let me sleep unless I take medication?
That's because you have a shitty internet service provider.
Okay.
You got some old cheap shit.
Great.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Lala, for that story. That's very, very weird.
Now we have one more.
Okay.
To wrap up our listeners' stories for this episode. The scariest thing that ever happened to me was when I came home from school my sophomore year. I was home alone. I usually played video games in my bedroom for a little while, and by 4:30, my friend who lived down the street usually called me to come over to his house. Sean was the luckiest guy on earth because his parents let him have a skateboard ramp in the backyard.
Wow.
So we usually messed around on it until about 5:30 every day. I went over to Sean's house to skate, but we ended up hanging out inside watching television. When his mom got home at 5:30, I left as usual. My mom and stepdad would be home soon, and I knew I needed to get my chores in for the day. I always waited until the last minute to do them because I'm a huge procrastinator and generally lazy, I admit.
Do you know somebody like that?
Sounds like my husband and my children.
Yes.
I probably needed to take out the trash and unload the dishwasher before dinner. Anyway, I'm walking down the street toward my house when I see a person dressed in all black go into the garage. The garage door was open, which I usually did so my parents could pull in, and there was a door that went into our kitchen from the garage. I left the kitchen door unlocked most days because it was never a big deal. I was terrible at keeping up with my key. When I went to Sean's house, I was only gone for about an hour or hour and a half most days. I never thought anything of it. Like I said, I see this person go into the garage.
Oh my God.
I stopped in my tracks waiting to see what was going on. I could see there wasn't a car in the garage, so I knew it wasn't my stepdad or my mom. And the person was dressed in all black from head to toe. I waited for a few minutes to see if they came back outside, but they didn't. My first thought was someone had broken into the house. I didn't know what to do. I turned around and ran as fast as I could down the street to Sean's house. I banged on his door. His mom answered, and I told her what I'd seen. She calls the cops. It didn't seem to take very long at all. In the meantime, Sean and I are standing out on his lawn watching my house. The person didn't leave the house that we could see, and when police show up, I tell them I saw a man go in the house. The officer and his backup go in, guns drawn, to check the property. Just as this is happening, my stepdad pulls in, and I have to explain what's going on. I got scolded for leaving the door unlocked, which is understandable, but at the time I was pretty scared, so whatever. The cops found no one inside the house. No sign of a person anywhere. All the doors and windows were secure. There was no sign anyone had even been in the house. The only way they could have left would have been the unlocked kitchen and garage door. from the time I turned my back and ran to Sean's house, the person would have probably had a minute and a half to 2 minutes to leave. Nothing was missing. Then everyone looked at me like I was lying. The cops acted like I was making up a story for attention. I ended up getting into trouble over the unlocked door, grounded, and treated like the boy who cried wolf. I still don't know how to explain it other than I saw a man go into our house. Did I see a ghost? Or did this person leave the house in that short period of time that I was running to Sean's house? It remains a mystery to me all these years later. And it is signed Chuck.
Damn, Chuck. Like, the whole purpose of this man in black was to make you look like a fool. And it worked. And he laughed. When he had that minute and a half window, he's like, I'm going to leave. Chuck's going to look like an idiot.
I mean.
And he's getting his jollies off. No, seriously, though. How freaky would that be?
That would be really freaky.
You're walking back home, and look, leaving the door unlocked and all that, that's stuff probably your mom and stepdad did as well. But at the time, someone having maybe come into their house scared them, and they kind of directed that scared onto you as anger. Hey, you shouldn't have left this unlocked, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean,
a lot of times people live in neighborhoods where, you feel totally safe. And like this would never happen. I mean, I can think back to when I was, of course, this is back in the 1900s, so long ago, back when we were pioneers, that I would leave the door unlocked after school and be there by myself and never think someone was going to break in the house or go to a friend's up the street. I mean, I had a friend that kind of lived the street over, and I'd go hang out at her house and never bother to lock the door or anything.
Well, yeah. So that's
because it just wasn't something you thought about.
You did okay on that. That was not a big deal. But you're walking home, no big deal, usual day, and bam, you see this person. It's not like he caught a glimpse or he thought he saw directly someone walk into his garage, and then to find out that there's no other doors or windows unsecured from the inside, except for that entrance into the garage and back out. How could you not be terrified?
And then I have questions. Like, is this person living in your house and you don't know? Like, are they hiding in the wall?
Oh my God, it's Roach.
Are they hiding up in the attic? A crawl space?
I've seen videos of alleged people.
They're just coming in and out. You don't know? Was it a ghost for real? Because, I mean, did this person just go in the house and disappear? Did he see something that wasn't real? I mean, what's happening?
Well, I don't know. And to be all this time later and still not know an answer for that, and you saw it directly and vividly, I mean, how weird would that be?
Very weird.
You know, I've seen video evidence, allegedly, of people, like, living, or what they call that?
Did they call frogging?
Frogging.
When they live in your house?
Living in someone's home and they don't know it.
That's terrifying.
Be it the attic, crawl spaces, whatever. You're out of the way. They don't know you're there, which is, even just on the property, would freak me out, let alone in my house. And I've seen video evidence of allegedly of this. Supposedly this one guy kept having food gone out of his refrigerator, and he was the only person that lived there. You know what I mean? And so he's like, where's this food going? You know? So he surreptitiously sets up hidden cameras and catches this woman like coming out of his crawl space that emptied in directly into the kitchen. And she would get down on a counter and crawl down and like eat food. And then a time or two of the video cuts would show him like kind of wander through the kitchen, like half asleep, you know, when you go get that drink of milk or water or whatever. Or if I've ate gummies, I like going to wake up at like 3 a.m. and go eat like a sandwich and don't remember it. And she like scurries back on the counter and into the damn crawl space.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Now, if that shit was real, dude, I mean, how freaking weird would that be?
I don't know, but I've had some weirdness happen lately, and I hate to be like, oh my God, my house is haunted again. I'm beginning to think maybe I'm just nuts. But everywhere we live, there's weird shit.
I think I told you what I thought.
You told me you think it's me.
I told you I think you're haunted, bitch. It's not the house.
Okay.
In a loving way. Well, I called you bitch.
Well, I know.
Like, I love you, bitch.
No, I know you said that the other night. You were like, I think it's you, bitch.
But you know, yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that do you think I have something attached to me that's haunting us? Or do you think things just come to me?
I think you maybe just see it. And I don't want to be too weird, or you're just open to it or whatever, you know?
Okay, because like this morning, okay, my son's room, the door was shut because the other day you walked over and you closed it and made sure that it was closed.
And we never go in that room.
We never go in that room.
Never
when
go
he's
in that
not
room.
here, we don't mess with that room.
No. And I was like, look, the door. I told you, I thought I'm always a skeptic. I have to, if I can't explain it with logic, then I start being weirded out. So I'm like, look, the house is pretty tight. We have good windows. And so maybe it's like an air pressure building up or whatever from the HVAC system. And, you know, then eventually the door's ajar, whatever, and it pushes open, air pressure, it matters. And so I go shut the door, tight, boom, door clicks, old handles and all that. But the knob clicks, it's tight. I push on the door.
Yeah,
And,
I watched you do
okay.
this the other night, and
Right.
I've not been in there since. This morning when I woke up, that door was wide open.
Come on.
I text you, and I said, Zane's door is wide open. Because there have been multiple mornings that I've gotten up, and the door that leads upstairs to the attic is wide open.
And you want to know what's weird about that, folks? It's a a newer place we moved into not that long ago. There is a padlock. You know, the cover goes over the thing. You put a padlock in it or whatever latch on this side, on the house side of the attic door. And there's no windows upstairs or anything. There's not any way you could even imagine like an intruder coming through the attic.
No, not at all.
Not at all. I mean, it's not one of those houses, even
There's
though you
no
have a
window
full.
up there.
There's nothing. There's a tiny hole that like a baby couldn't fit through. And no vents, no nothing.
It's hot as hell up there.
It's hot as hell. Yeah, why is there a padlock on the house side of the attic door? And we're starting to wonder if, because this door keeps freaking being open. And these knobs, I got to tell you, are stupid and old.
They're old as hell.
And it's like
I can barely get. I like lock myself in the fucking bathroom all the time. Like I'd be twisting the handle trying to get. I'll be like, "What the
if
fuck?"
you go to open
and it
a door,
takes me like 2 minutes to get out of the bathroom because of the doorknob. And you're like, "Oh, I should change that knob out."
And they're all like that in the whole house.
Yeah, because they're all really old. Like probably from I don't know. What do you think this
50s,
house
60s?
was probably built in the 40s or 50s?
Yeah, 40s, 50s is what I think.
They look original.
Right. The knobs, they're totally original.
And they're old and they're metal and they're all creaky and yeah.
It's like the metal, the brassy metal with like the crystal handle. Everybody's seen these before. Yeah. So I don't know. It's you. I don't know. I don't know what to say. We'll wrap it up on that
Well,
note.
whatever's going on, it likes to open doors and turn on lights.
The only thing,
because also the other night you left for work.
okay.
And it was, the door was secure. It was closed, whatever. I go take a bath, like 1 a.m. I come out of the bathroom. The door's wide open and the light's on in the bedroom.
I don't know. I don't know what to say.
And I'm like, it wasn't like that 30 minutes ago before I went into the bathroom to take a bath.
So you say.
It wasn't. What am I? I'm lying to myself?
Yeah,
I'm gaslighting myself?
Well, no, I don't think you would freak yourself out to where you're texting me at 2 a.m. talking about, oh my God, can you come home?
I don't want to be here.
All right. So see, we got it all stirred up with the listener stories. And those were some great listener stories. I want to thank everybody who's ever wrote a listener story. Thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, mountainmurderspodcast@gmail.com is a great way to get those listener stories over to us. And then some folks like to send them via Instagram. They'll shoot us a little DM.
And look, we're the little podcast that could. We never blowed all the way up, which we would love to. If you know somebody that can make us blow up, hit us up at mountainmurderspodcast.
When you say blow up, I mean you want someone to bomb us?
Look,
You want them to drop the bomb on us? Dylan?
what I mean by that
You want us to be chart topping podcast?
is for us to make enough money to where we could just podcast for a living, and I wouldn't have to work a 9 to 5. That's all I mean. Because we love it.
Look, I just want to be one of those critters who makes enough money to buy a house.
Look, and this is not a solicitation, folks. This is what I mean. Where Heather has like so many ideas for multiple other pods in various genres, and they are all incredible. We just don't have the time. So anyway, we're sticking with Mountain Murders. Here we are, twice a week at least. And I'm just trying to say thank you to our listeners that do find us, the people, the OGs, the new people. You're the reason we keep going after going on 6 years. You're the reason we're going to keep podding into the future. and we love you so much. Your kind words, you're kind to everything. So all we ask is just tell a friend Mountain Murders is pretty cool. And I'm sure that people are anyway. Yeah, just do that. Don't even worry about, the 5-star reviews bring a smile to our face every time. If you do that anywhere that you listen, we love it so much. It's just your kind words. It means so much to us.
It does.
Oh my gosh. Y'all have snapped me out of full-on depression loops with a kind review, kind words, a listener story saying where, your fave. It really lights our day up.
It really does. I mean, there are plenty of times that I will call you and be like, guess what, Dylan? Oh, we just got a 5-star.
Look at this review.
Read it to you, and you're just like so happy.
It's amazing. And can I ask whoever listens to us in Turkmenistan, is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Would you please hit us up at mountainmurderspodcast@gmail.com? We're just curious how we keep topping charts or entering the 200 chart there. And we would love to know more about Turkmenistan and many of the other countries that show up on our charts.
Yeah, I mean,
it's all over the world.
I've recently gotten a couple messages from folks who are over in the UK, like greetings from England.
We love it.
How awesome is that?
It's amazing.
And yeah, we have listeners all over the world, but the one that has been popping up lately is Turkmenistan, and we are just so curious. Who in Turkmenistan would be listening to two country ass hillbillies from the damn mountains of North Carolina?
Yeah, I know, it's awesome. So thank you to everyone.
Listen to us say dumb shit. So that's amazing, and we're always blown away by it.
We are. I just had to gush for a minute because I think about it all the time.
Oh, I love how you're so cute and gooey with your little feelings.
Sticky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dylan, real quick before we wrap things up, though, can we just briefly talk about this docuseries that I have been watching on Netflix? I just finished it because it's a good recommend for folks.
Look, I gotta say, we just got the Netflix back. We
kind of rotate out our streaming services.
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
Yeah,
and some of Netflix, I gotta say, I've had Netflix back when it was DVDs in the mail. Okay, I've been Netflix for a very long time, and sometimes it feels a little stale. But I gotta say, somewhere they rock is true crime docs. There's just one after another I've got to try. But please tell us some about the one I caught you watching the other day.
It's such an interesting but truly devastating story called Into the Fire, The Lost Daughter. And I will give you just a little rundown. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's a new release. I believe it came out on September 12th. It's a 2-part series that follows a woman named Kathy Turkanian. It's her quest basically to find her daughter, Andrea Bowman. Now, she did not raise this child. She was, from the way she...
According to her.
Yeah, from the way she talked in the true crime series, or the true crime doc, I'll get this out, is she was a teen mom and was essentially forced to give her daughter up for adoption. She was not in a situation where she would be able to take care of the daughter. She didn't have family support. Her mother pressured her to put this baby up for adoption, and she was promised this child's going to have the best of the best. She's going to go to this excellent family. She'll have everything she ever wanted. So, as a teenage girl, she's thinking like, okay, I can't provide these things for my daughter, and ends up giving her up for adoption.
But I got to say, on that note, because I know very little about this, but I know enough. You said she gave her up around 9 months.
Yes.
So she birthed the baby, had the baby with her, that natural mom-baby bonding.
And she named her daughter Alexis. So throughout the docuseries, she refers to her daughter as Alexis, though the girl, when she was adopted, was renamed Andrea. So you kind of get the back and forth, Alexis and Andrea, but, it's the same child. So years and years after she gives birth to this child and places her up for adoption, she ends up finding out that her child has been missing for like 21 years.
Oh, my God.
So it's basically this woman, Kathy's quest to find her daughter and figure out where she is or what's happened to her. And this woman, she is...
a bulldog.
Persistent. She is tenacious. I mean, watching her, I was like, hell yeah, because she's a badass. And she don't give a fuck. She just says whatever she wants to whoever. She don't care if it's harassment, if the police are going to come knocking on her door with a warrant. She's just like, fuck y'all. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I mean, she's really amazing. And her motivation in finding her child, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it's just something to behold, really.
It is.
And this woman's tenacity uncovers what actually happens.
I think you should leave it there.
I'm just going to say what the truth is.
Oh, my God.
And then the truth is mind-blowing.
I mean, it takes you down just the darkest path you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
But you know what's wild, Dylan, is the minute... How do I say this? I knew right off the bat what happened.
Yeah.
And
just
I told
look, I'm super non-spoiler guy.
And then it came. And then it came to fruition, and I was like, I knew it.
Oh my gosh!
I sensed it.
It is a very good, well-made, passionate true crime doc.
Check it out. It's really good, and it's not, like I said, it's a 2-part, so it's not super long.
No, it's not too long.
It's not too long.
It's just long enough.
It's the perfect amount.
Instead of being like 9 episodes, it's the 2 that it needed to be to tell the story fully and to really convey this woman's passion for finding out what happened to her daughter.
Yeah, I 10/10 recommend.
I want to go watch another one.
We will.
Okay.
Okay, y'all. Well, thanks for tuning in. If you have a listener story you would like us to read on an October episode, mountainmurderspodcast@gmail.com. Of course, you can always support the show at patreon.com/mountainmurderspodcast. And just ahead of spooky season, we have so many fun designs in our merch shop. I will drop a link in today's show notes. If you need some really cool spooky fashion heading into the Halloween season, check out our merch store. You'll find something, I promise.
Yeah, and since I was begging earlier and gushing about how much I love you guys, you all, we are so close to monetizing on YouTube. It's not even funny, and it's been a very slow growth there, but we're on the edge. And if at any time it's convenient for you, or you're just, what else, you like love our show and want to help just a little bit, listen to us on YouTube. The audio's there. There's a channel.
Man, we have some really awesome supporters on YouTube, by the way.
I'm not saying we don't. We have people that listen religiously.
No, we have some great folks who comment, like Patrick.
Right.
What's up, Patrick?
What up, Patrick?
And they always just leave us the nicest little messages and comments. So
yeah,
thanks for that.
We just need just a few more hours of play there. So if at any time it's convenient, or you can just throw it on a laptop and turn the volume down. Hook it up.
Bye, Dylan.
Bye.